settle down. Jarsehole here, Jarsehole TV. What is cracking? Coming at you with another episode. This one's going to be all about the restoration of this chisel. It's a bit rusted, blunt, and there's a few chips out of the blade there. We're going to fix it up and make it look like brand new. Here's the chisel. It is Sweden made. It is fairly old. This was my grandpa's, and I used this probably the first month of my carpentry apprenticeship before I decided to buy my own set. But we're going to fix it up and hopefully it comes up good. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that rust on the actual steel itself. What I need is a bit of white vinegar, and it's going to get a cup. It's going to pour some vinegar into it until the metal's fully covered by it. Now this is a trick that will remove the rust. Going to leave it here for about 24 hours. Come back and we'll get rid of the rust. 12 hours after putting the chisel in vinegar, that you can see the rust is already starting to peel off. See the bubbles floating up there, the rust particles on the bottom. We'll see how we go, but we might not need to wire brush this. It's been about 36 hours. We're going to pull it out and give it a quick clean. As you can see, there's a bit of glue or something on the end there. Not too bad. Most of the rust has come off. There it all is in there. So I'm just going to give it a rub off with a paper towel. Look at that, it's already coming up. Beautiful. Wow. My grandpa's initials, he's struck in with a striker just there, but all in all it's come up pretty good. What I'm going to do now is coat it with some oil, and this will prevent it from rusting any further. Now I'm just going to use some leftover oil that I haven't finished off yet, just to coat the chisel. And what this does is stops the chisel or the metal from rusting again. So I'm going to give it a good amount. There we go. Next, this vinegar you can reuse, so I'm going to pour that back into the bottle and use it for another restoration project. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the handle. There's a bit of grime and build up and whatnot on the actual plastic chisel itself, so I'm going to clamp it to the bench top, and I'm going to use this wire brush very lightly on the chisel, on the plastic, to hopefully take off some of that, hopefully take some of that grime out. So it's all the grimes seems to have gotten out of it. The handle is very damaged. It's probably 50 odd years old work here, so, and as you can see it's quite small now that it's been sharpened down so much. Still a couple little bits there that we'll get off, but I think in the scheme of things it is just about ready for polishing. I'm on to buffing now. I'm going to use this loose leaf calico to put some compound into the actual handle to make it get shinier. Once that's done, I'm going to go use the just a buff. It's very, very soft, this stuff, and hopefully it buffs right up, comes up nicely. This is quite hard, very fibrous, creates a lot of mess. but we'll give it a shot and see how we go. This is polishing compound. It's not right for plastic. It is actually made for steel, stainless steel, copper or brass, but it hopefully should do the same trick. So I'm just going to put a bit of compound on the buff here. You don't want to apply too much, you just want it enough. As you can probably see there, the green stuff, you just want it enough so it just coats it. You don't want to clog these pores up. If you clog the pores up, it's not going to have the effect on the handle. It's pretty good, so we'll give it a quick once over. Once we use this final buff here, it's going to come up alright, I think. See how we go. Beautiful. I'm going to move on to the sharpening bit. But before we do, you want to get yourself a nice honing stone, and on the back of the blade, on the back of the chisel itself, you need to work it until this back is very flat. You don't want any hollows, etc. in the chisel blade. So we're going to work it just in the same direction, constantly. See how that's sort of all one colour? Not sure if you can see it in the camera, but that's what you're sort of looking for. Really what you want to do is square this blade up with the grinding wheel. I'm going to be grinding it flat on the side of the grinding wheel, so it's easier to sharpen. Now that I've grinded the chisel square, you can see it's quite blunt. See on the camera there, but it is much squarer than what it originally was. So what we're going to do now, I'll get my jig onto this grinder and we'll take it slowly, get this nice and sharp. After about 10 minutes of grinding, you can see that the face of the chisel, the edge of the chisel, is all one colour now. So that means the angle that I've set on my jig on the grinder is that angle there. What we're going to do is keep going down because it still is a bit blunt on the face, leading edge of the chisel there. Still is a little bit blunt, so we'll continue to go until we can get that down to a nice fine line, and then we will go into honing. So that's about as sharp as I'm going to get it on the grinder. As you can see, it's pretty thin, that edge. But when you do that, it actually creates a burr. When sharpening on that grinding wheel, it creates a burr underneath. And hear that there? That's actually a burr on the end of the edge. So all you need to do is just, on your pants, just give it a rub back and forth a few times, get that burr off. And now there's no edge. Now what we want to do is go ahead, match this edge on the honing stone, so the cutting edge on there, and keep the chisel up. It's not flat, it's up. I'm matching that there. And what we're going to do is just do 3 or 4 strokes, forward or back, doesn't really matter, to get a nice honed edge on. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See how it's shiny up the top? We can keep going on the bottom because it's not that shiny just yet. We'll try to concentrate on that edge. I'm not sure if you can see it there. There's a nice clean edge along there. Nice clean edge along there. Alright, let's test it out. So I've just got a bit of hardwood timber here. Some sort of gum, I think it is, spotted gum or similar. I'll run the leading edge along it. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Cuts like butter. Lovely. So there's the finished product. I think it's come up pretty good, considering it had rust all over it. Handle's come up pretty good as well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's quite sharp. And I get a few more years, hopefully. Yeah, thanks for watching. Alright. Today's episode...